Hello, my name is Phyilantrompist and you are on Tina Talk Show. Wherever you're watching from, thank you so much for being a part. Now today I have my special guest with me, Toaha Querashi MBE. He is the chairman of the Stockwell Community Services. He is also the founder and the CEO of FIRD, meaning the Forum for International Relation Development. Mr. Querashi is also the CEO of the School of Economics. Not only that, Mr. Querashi has given a whopping £1 million into the scholarship scheme. So you see, it's a wonderful guest of mine that you do not want to miss the communication, because together we're going to try to bridge the gap, bring the understanding. It's going to be inspiring you, motivating you, bring those things that you need to know. Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Phyilantrompist and you have just tuned into Tina Talk Show. Thank you so much for wherever you're watching from. It's a pleasure to have you being part of today's topic. Now today with me I have a special guest, Toaha Querashi. Together we're going to be bridging the gap. Now what does that mean? He's going to be sharing few things with us. He's going to take us through a certain journey, understanding few things. He's going to motivate us, inspire us, teach us, pass hopefully a wisdom that he has acquired over the years. So, Toaha Querashi, it's a pleasure having you come to Tina Talk Show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. You know, today there's some few things that I have actually researched about you, and it's so vast with the hope that we would be able to pass knowledge. You know, like I said before, sometimes people want to be, to reach, they see people or they see a product, they want to achieve that product, or they want to be like somebody else, but they don't really understand the journey that the person has been through, the pitfalls, the learning, the experience that they need in order to attain that level. Before we go we go further, I would like you to take a look on what Toaha Querashi is really all about.
This recent attack on the All Saints Church in Peshawar, Pakistan, is a cowardly atrocity. The killing of innocent followers of one of the respected Abrahamic faiths is no service to any religion. So before we begin, I would like to say that the holy verse I recited from Quran, that is the basis of Islam. This is what Islam teaches, that we are all brothers and sisters. We have created from Adam and Eve, no matter wherever we are from. Whether we are from America, United States, China, Russia, India, Pakistan, no matter wherever we are from, we are one from Adam and Eve, whether we are white, black or brown.
Yes, audience, thank you so much for coming back. As you have seen, he's a man with integrity. He's a man that believes in unity. Doesn't matter the religion, where you're from, he believes in great sense of community. Sir, I've just shared the video of one of your talking about the importance of unity, one of your conference. But for somebody who are here to understand who you are, can you briefly explain to us about yourself?
I am a British Pakistani Muslim.
Okay.
And all these three identities, they are never hindrance in any of the other identity I have.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, these three identities, me being a Muslim, a Pakistani and British, they help and they complement each identity. It never stops me being a good Muslim, being proud of having Pakistani heritage, and being a very good British citizen, conferred by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth the second.
Queen Elizabeth II, member of the Order of the British Empire. So I'm MBE. having been in this country now for almost 30 years, life has not been that easy. I came to this country in '89. Luckily, I got a job, very good job, within first 4 weeks. But I faced a lot of racism, a lot of prejudices, a lot of abuse.
Yeah, glad that you said that, because I was going to ask you, what was it like being a Pakistani and living in another country in United Kingdom? If you faced racism, because it must be a big challenge for you.
It was a big challenge, of course, without any shadow of doubt. Nonetheless, I did not allow those prejudices, that racism, that religious discrimination to be hindrance in my progression. So I continued to progress, to better myself, whether it was through education or bridging the gaps between the communities and having very inclusive environment around me. So I help even those people who I faced racism through.
Amazing.
Hence, I always tell my students wherever I deliver lectures, because I retired as the CEO of School of Economics and Law, I still deliver lectures at King's College and many other universities in the UK and abroad. So I always educate my students or the audience in the conferences that if your intentions are good, if you want to give something back to the society where you are living in, then help comes. So there are more good people than the bad people. So bad people are always in minority. Nonetheless, those bad ones are noticed. So my advice to our ethnic background people has always been that you always look for the best one. Always set yourself very high targets and achieve those targets. See, when I went to the university here in the UK, University of Bradford, it was a 4 years engineering degree program. I completed it in 2 years.
In 2 years?
2 years.
It was 4
4
years course, a degree program.
Honors degree.
How did you do that?
Well, this is it. That is the passion I had, the time which I allocated, the support from my family I had, the support from my working colleagues had. The same work, I had people who were giving me some racial abuse, but there were many people from the same background. They were supportive of my education and my development.
So looking out for the good instead of
Absolutely.
focusing on the good.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we focus on the negative, and it hinders us from actually identifying who is good among us.
If we get stuck in the negativity and get stuck in the bad atmosphere or environment, then it does not allow you to progress. It always hinders your progress because you're always thinking, why did he's done this to me? Why did she's done that to me? I want to give something back to them now. Negativity. No, always think positive. How many people are good around you to work with them? And how many good people have done good to you? So you try to return that good to those people or to that community.
Right.
And when I completed my education here in the UK, I made my mind that I am going to work my entire life with the communities at large to bring community cohesion. And I always thought that someone has supported my education. My education was sponsored by my employer, Prince's Soft Drink. So they supported my education. Hence, when I became the CEO of School of Economics and Law, I gave almost £1 million worth scholarships to African countries, Ghana, Cameroon, for example, Nigeria, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and many Middle Eastern countries and European countries. So it is I always thought now is the time to give back something to my communities.
The community.
Not only to Pakistani community, not only to Muslim community, the communities at large, communities I am part of.
Toaha Querashi, as you already know, is a British Pakistani. He's an MBE. He's a chairman of the Stockwell Green Community Services, founder of FED, at the Forum for International Relation Development. He's the CEO of the School of Economics and Law. He's also a philanthropist who has given a whopping, I'm sure, over £1 million. Is a man that is really passionate to give back to the community. So this will bring me to the idea of Alshahada Housing Association. You know, as far as UK is concerned, it's one of the areas that I think, looking at different boroughs, housing is a big issue. So what was the motivation to try to go into this area of housing?
Well,
that is
very pertinent question, this one. As you know, when there's a huge shortage of housing, hundreds of thousands of people are homeless, and there are people who are living in very congested kind of accommodation.
Yes.
People have 3-4 children, but they're living in 1-2 bedrooms. So when I was asked to sit on the board of Alshahada Housing Association, it was set up to support the disadvantaged communities from the Muslim background only.
Yeah. Okay.
Nonetheless, with the time, we felt that Alshahada Housing Association can extend its helping hand to the other communities, whether they have any faith or none. So we introduced our properties to the non-Muslim members of the communities as well, and we brought the other faiths on the board as well. So now, although we still have the ethos of Islamic background to support the Muslim communities, to support the other communities who are homeless and destitute, nonetheless, it is a program now which is not only in London,
Yeah.
but in Midlands as well. So we have almost 1,000 units now in Birmingham for supported accommodation and in Dudley. Although we started from London,
and now expand.
that is our base. Nonetheless, we still have many operations in other parts of the country.
That is a great work, and for somebody who might be hearing it, moving from different areas and expanding the helping hand, were there challenges in trying to do this?
Well, as we all know that somehow the government institutions have failed to cater for the destitute and the homeless people. Hence, it is a private-public partnership where we are supporting the government initiative under the supported accommodation program. There is another prong of this program which we will be launching very soon.
Okay.
That will be supported living program, where there is extra care element attached to that program. Having said that, government needs to build more and more housing, more and more flats, and understand the complexity of this matter, what impact it has on those young children who are living with mom and dad in just one room or two rooms.
It could cause some detrimental effect.
Absolutely, it has very big psychological impact on those young children as well as on the parents. So eventually then it is a burden on the National Health Service.
Yes.
Eventually. Then eventually there is a burden on the security services, police authority for example. Because those young people, they do not get that quality living, they do not get that quality parental nurturing, because there is a stressed environment in a very tight place where there is no play area for the children,
no dining table,
and there is no sleeping bed for them properly. They are sleeping on the couches, on the sofas, maybe on the floor sometimes. Hence, it is fundamental for the government and institutions like ours to understand. And I'm glad that Amaze TV has brought this issue, and you are creating awareness among the masses that it is important for the people who have been blessed by God Almighty with bigger houses to understand the needs of those destitutes, and the government institution as well as the charitable organizations to support these young people somehow who are living in such a very difficult environment.
What actually encouraged you, because it's not easy being a foreigner in a country as a Pakistani, to actually come about the School of Economics and Law? I mean, like, it's not a field that anybody can just say, it's not like you want to sell bread, you want to sell pepper, you want to sell, can of Coke. This is something to impact in people's lives, in their education. And what was the motivation for you to actually go into this?
Well, the motivation was, be honest with you, when I came to the UK, although I had my first degree in physics and mathematics from Pakistan, nonetheless I wanted to have a British qualification. Hence I went to the university.
I wanted to get that.
And I went to the university and did electronics and electrical engineering with management, honours degree. And there were many, many people out there. They wanted to do a degree, a British qualification, but in very flexible environment. So we launched a program that you only study 2 days a week, but for 2 days.
Wow.
It is a requirement which we had that 15 hours minimum they needed to study as a full-time student.
Was it because with that, they're able to also pursue other things in life?
They could work 5 days a week, for example.
And create an opportunity to also study.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
So they study 2 days with us. They go and work for 5 days.
So there's no excuse not to study.
Absolutely.
Because the platform has been created for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we provided that very kind of tailored study module, and the environment and the space for those people who wanted to study, but they were single or married with children, and they had to work, they had to pay the rent, they had to pay their mortgage or whatever. But 2 days, almost 50% or 75% we used to give scholarship.
No doubt that can also improve the economy. The government, will really help them, because the more people are qualified in something, have qualification, they're able to get good employment.
Of course, there were hundreds of people. They went into employment, and they're still working, they're still employed, and they're paying their taxes. The government is benefiting from it.
Definitely. The family, the government, is an amazing vision and amazing work. And another great thing that you did, when I researched about you, there were so many things. I was like, oh my God, this is so vast that, I was like, the wisdom, the knowledge that you have gained, people need to hear this, people need to know about this. Not only did you come about the School of Economics, you also financed it, gave a scholarship for whooping over £1 million. So tell me, what was again? Because sometimes we need to understand what is the drive for people.
See, the drive is very simple. When I came in this country, I had only £50 in my pocket.
£50.
But when I started my business, I could afford to go and buy cash £100,000 car. I could afford to do that. Here's the check, I could do that. I wanted people to benefit from the educational system in the UK. It's the best educational system. British educational system, when you are in this educational system, you can only go through and succeed. It is very difficult to come out of the system and drop out. It's difficult. System provides those means and tools so that you are successful. If someone is really, really lazy, does not want to study, does not want to spend any time on education, then you can't blame the system. Nonetheless, system for those students who are willing to spend time and learn, the system provides them that channel to succeed or channel to success. Hence, the system which we had adopted, I applied on myself. First, as I said to you, 4-year degree in 2 years. And I had 4 children then, and only 1 wife. So Muslims can have 4 wives.
Yeah, and you have only one.
Well, I had only one. Still I have only one. Oh. And the only one, I'm married and I'm only one, I'm going to go with all my life.
Oh, bless. Did you hear that?
So I've got 9 grandchildren now. So it is, see, I must admit, I must tell the audience that without my wife's support, I would not have been able to achieve 10% of what I have achieved so far.
Right.
Believe me, and I mean that. See, women can provide that effective support which nobody else can offer you.
Wow.
So my wife and my children, they were supportive of my career,
Your growth.
my growth, my education, my business, and my skills.
Because if they're not there mentally for you, psychologically for you, you can't do it.
You can't do
I know
it.
a lot of friends who started uni, they dropped out because the pressure of the partner, the pressure from the family, everything, the kids, they couldn't.
Yes. So I helped my children. One of my sons, he is the youngest dean at Navitas in Europe. In Europe, youngest dean in Europe at the university.
Have I met him here? Not the one I've met.
No, I don't think you met only one of my, 2 of my sons. One of them is the corporate lawyer, and the second one is working with me.
Yeah,
He's got 2 degrees, 2 master degrees.
Uma.
Yes, Uma.
Wow, amazing.
So what I'm saying is that the scholarships and the education, because someone helped me. He was a white man, he was a Christian. The organization I used to work for, it was not a Muslim-led organization. So someone helped me. Those people who are from different faith, from different color, from different background, they helped a Pakistani, a Muslim, to get that education. They invested on me.
Is that what they would normally say, a divine helper? So a divine, somebody would always be there. There's always that need for that person to, someone to help you in that place.
So someone helped me to reach that stage. So it was, for me, I need to help 10 times, 100 times more people.
Amazing.
To reach my level.
Wow. Hence the scholarship came into play.
See, as I said, I had only 50 pounds in my pocket when I came in this country. Now, money is not my issue. Money is not my issue. So whatever we earned, we invested back in the society.
Into the society, because we're not going with it, are we? We are, all this things, we're going to leave them behind. I believe that we achieve all these things in order to impact in people's lives when we are gone.
Yes.
It's not for us to take with us.
True.
All the education is to acquire the knowledge, to be able to articulate properly in order to give it back. Before the 9/11, there was a bomber that took place in your mosque. Now, not everybody is aware about the failed bomb.
Suicide bombers.
Suicide bombers that happened in the mosque. Now, what happened on that fateful day? That because obviously if that had let out, if that had exploded, no doubt a lot of souls would have been lost. So what happened on that day?
When I came here in London in '99, I noticed that there was a problem of extremism, radicalization. Hence, the mosque trustees, the imams, they started working with me in countering that trend of extremism. That some people who were planning to do something wrong with our communities here. Hence the imams, they approached the authorities and warned them that there is something cooking in this region which may cause a big. That was in 2003 when we wrote to the authorities that a group of people, they are planning to do something wrong.
Something wrong, wow. Is it information you got? Information?
Yes, that's
or
right.
instinct?
That's no,
Yeah,
information.
looking at what was happening at that time.
Yes, we made a risk assessment. We carried out it thoroughly, and then the imams and myself, we had meeting with the authorities. The same people, after 2 years, they committed these atrocities on 21st of July in London, the failed suicide bombers. Now they are in prison for 30, 40 years.
Are they still there?
Oh, yeah, they're in prison now.
Wow.
And this is very unfortunate that the majority gets badly treated because of the wrong action of minority. Right? And people forget, or people don't remember, people don't know sometimes that how the majority is supportive of the authorities,
The authority, yeah.
the government institutions, to counter radicalization, extremism and terrorism. Hence, when on 21st of July this thing happened, there were a number of people from our area. They used to go to our mosque and other local mosques as well in London. And these guys, they got captured and they were tried and imprisoned now. But I must emphasize on one thing. When these guys were captured, so police was worried and the local communities were worried that maybe our mosque get attacked by the local people.
And it wasn't.
And the police came to protect the mosque. Our Christian friends, our Muslim friends, they got together. Jewish friends, they got together. And they said, we don't need police protection. We are here to protect the mosque. Nobody will attack the mosque because we have done a wonderful work here in the community. And the Christians, the Jewish, the Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs, all the communities, they have worked together. We had interfaith forum as well. So we were well known among the communities. We were pioneer in interfaith work here. We were the School of Economics and Law was the only college that was commissioned by the Ministry of Justice to provide education to those who were convicted under Terrorism Act.
Not everyone know that.
Well, before 7/7, the 2005 incident, we had already launched, we had designed and executed the counter-radicalization program. Hundreds of people went through that program. And our program is such a unique program which ran from 2004 to 2008. And then Ministry of Justice, Home Office, Metropolitan Police, they asked us to replicate that program in not only in other parts of London, but in Yorkshire as well.
Amazing.
So we replicated that program. So we have first-hand experience of rehabilitating those who were charged in the terrorism.
It's like giving them like a rehabilitate, giving like a second chance.
Yes, of course, because these are young people, they don't know what life is. They
No,
don't know much about religion.
Just like you mentioned, sometimes the environment, like when we mentioned about housing and not growing up properly,
Yes.
can also create all these kind of troubles.
What we are missing now is the role models.
Role models.
Just look at international politics now. American president used to be a kind of international leading role model. One would assume that.
Yeah.
And look at President Trump now, how he's being humiliated. And look at his approach as well. And our Prime Minister now. Look the way he's being humiliated. And look at his approach, how he's behaving. So, and this has been going on for a long time. Humiliation of BME communities, humiliation of Muslims, humiliation or demonization of Islam. Islamophobia has increased because our politicians like President Trump and Prime Minister Boris Johnson,
Yeah.
because they have poured fuel over the fire. Instead of calming the situation, if President Trump comes on TV, millions of people watch that program.
Yeah, they want to hear what he's got to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if he talks against Islam, that creates more Islamophobic views. If he talks against Muslims, more Islamophobic views. If he bans people from 7 countries, it's a good job that the American courts are still independent. And they stopped him from doing that. He banned 7 people from 7 Muslim countries to enter the United States.
Yeah,
President Trump.
Yeah,
And
a lot.
so is Boris Johnson. What did he say about Muslim women?
Wearing the hijab.
Wearing the hijab.
Yeah.
Their letterboxes and talking against Muslim women and Islam. So in this British society, in Western society, in American society, instead of leadership promoting harmony, tolerance, peace,
tolerance.
coexistence, they are promoting more hate. Hence we see the result of that. People are
Very
getting killed left, right and center. One of our MP, Jo Cox, what a wonderful MP she was, British MP, a white Christian woman, got killed by a white Christian man because she was supporting the refugees and BME people.
Can you imagine that?
One Arab student, Saudi student, she was killed by a white Christian man, white supremacist, because she was wearing that Arab dress, hijab. So these things have been promoted, the Islamophobic views have been promoted by the media and by the politicians. So my urge, my request, humble request to the media and to the politicians have always been that we need to promote tolerance, acceptance, more community cohesion, more harmonious relationship. Then we will have peace in the world. If we are promoting wars,
or negativities,
then
that's
I'm
what
afraid there is someone up there as well
That's what
that is going to haunt us. I can't put my neighbor's house on fire and say my house is going to be safe. I'm sorry.
It's not going to.
It doesn't work like that.
The drive that you have in trying to ensure the unity, the coalition, bringing communities together, would you say that led you to creating FIRD, the Forum for International Relation Development? Can you tell us the drive for this?
Yes, because I'm a Muslim and I'm proud of it. When I looked at one of the verse of Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min zakarin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. O people, God Almighty says, O people, we have created you from a single pair of a male and female. That is Adam and Eve. And we have made you into nations and tribes so that you may know one another, not that you despise or hate one another. And in the sight of God Almighty, those who are the most righteous are the most honorable. So
Very true.
that is a fundamental principle that enables me to bring at least the three faiths
Together.
Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam at least. Bring them together. Because Abraham, he had two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. So from Isaac's side, Judaism and Christianity, from Ishmael's side, Islam. So they are cousins among themselves. So that enables me, or encourages me and empowers me to bring at least these three faiths together. That's one thing. And when I look at Quranic verse, this which I just recited earlier on, that we are all from Adam and Eve.
Wow.
For God's sake, what are we fighting about?
I don't know, honestly.
What are we fighting about?
Wow, we're from the same parent, like we would say in another word. The same parents.
Same parents, right? So, hence we set up this think tank, a conflict resolution think tank, which holds international conferences, seminars. We have held a number of conferences, number of seminars. For example, the role of religions in diminishing terrorism.
Sir, I'm going to let the audience see a clip of one of the conferences that Sir Toaha Querashi MBE, one of his conferences.
In both Christianity and Islam, there are overarching themes of peace. Last week, we had a brilliant launch of Masters in Law with human rights. And we have given, in same town in Peshawar, where this incident happened, Rana Sahab, this is very important for you. Please extend our scholarship program, which we have now already given to Peshawar last week, before this incident. This £50,000 worth scholarships to the lawyers living in Peshawar. I'm going to meet with the Chief Minister as well, but may I extend this invitation to the local church communities, further £50,000, so that their lawyers could come and study with us on human rights.
So as you have seen, is a man that wants to unite. Sir, as we've just looked at the video clip.
So, as I said, that encourages me, that empowers me, that enables me to bring the communities together. And last year, for example, I was in Kabul to bring politicians and army personnel and ambassadors and media together in Pakistan and Afghanistan to have dialogue. So I chaired the conference. This year I was in Islamabad. Again, 25 plus people from Pakistan, 25 people from Afghanistan. Senior politicians, not ordinary public. Politicians, ambassadors, generals, on table. I chaired that conference.
All this work that you have put together, you have supported the community, not just community here, but globally. I'm not surprised that you, at some point become a member of the British Empire. Can you tell us what was what does it mean to you?
It means to me a lot. It is a recognition by the head of the state.
Sir, I'm not going to quote you, but I want the audience to see a clip of this.
Investitures are traditional, and I'm always absolutely fascinated by the people who come and all the things that they've done, and they all have different reactions. They all can tell you something different.
So, thank you so much. Sir, what does this mean for you?
It means a lot. See, Her Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II, she's not only head of the British state, she's the head of 27 probably Commonwealth states, maybe more, all the Commonwealth states. So it is a great pleasure and honor for me being invited by Her Majesty in the palace and in front of hundreds of very honorable people you shake your hand with the Queen, you get this MBE, and then you have opportunity to speak to her. This is
the big door open.
big door. This was unimaginable. I never even dreamt of that. That when I came from Pakistan, I never dreamt of that I'll be meeting with Her Majesty the Queen.
Amazing.
But that is beyond us. But as I said, I worked to promote community cohesion.
Yes.
I worked tirelessly to practically bring the communities together.
I see that title as how do I say it?
It's a reward, I would say. It's a reward that the services I offered to my community.
Like it's a big thing that you've done so much.
Yes.
You know that for me, it is more. It's more of like it's a way of saying well done.
Thank you.
It's a way of saying you have done us proud. It's a way of saying that you are leaving us a great legacy. It's a way of saying when you are gone, the world will not forget you.
True.
So it's a great honor to actually have you come on Tina Talk Show to share this amazing journey with us. It's a pleasure. I've learned great from you.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure, and all the opportunity that you have given to everybody, across the world. Audience, I don't know about you, but I have been greatly blessed by Toaha Querashi MBE. I hope that you have learned so many things. In life, there are opportunities, but it's the ability to actually recognize it and go for it. In terms of education, there are people, there are organizations who are there, who have created these opportunities. Go and grab it. And I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. It's me again, your host, Adam Wachiku on Tina Talk Show. Until next time.